Maybe the fact I'm not playing and I can see it, but certainly around Navan and around Meath yesterday, great atmosphere. Everybody really looking forward and a scramble for tickets like in All-Ireland.
What about the concern there must be in Meath that Martin O'Connell isn't able to play, and Barry Callahan as well, and one or two others?
Well, he's a huge loss, Martin, because he had a brilliant championship last year. I'd say if this game had come a fortnight ago, it would have been better for Meath, because there is doubts with Darren Fay and Graham Geraghty as well, and Martin, and they all picked up injuries in the last 2 weeks. And Meath up to that had gone very well in challenge matches and training. So, you know, on the other hand, Dublin had problems before that and they seem to have come right. So both sides missing experienced men. I suppose Kieran Whelan a big loss to Dublin, but Martin O'Connell an absolutely huge loss to Meath.
Now, mention of Dublin, of course, they've got two championship newcomers in their full back line. Would you be expecting Meath to test them out fairly early?
They will, but Meath haven't too big a men in there. Like even if Tommy Dowd moved into the full forward line along with Brendan Riley, they're still relatively small, so they'll be looking for low ball most of the time. But it's a big day for Paddy Christie, of course, whose father played for Meath, and Meath will be trying to expose them certainly by playing direct ball into the full forward line. The half forward line will drop well out. Trevor Giles and Graham Geraghty will play as extra midfielders, so there'll be a lot of space in front of that Dublin full back line, and we'll soon see what they're made of.
And I know you won't sit on the fence. Who's going to win?
Well, I still think Meath have a better forward line, and I think that should be enough.
Thurles and Limerick went to Doon, and they're now on their way here to the dressing rooms in Thurles. Joining me is Ger Hegarty, former Limerick star, indeed future Limerick star, I hope. But what's your interpretation of this game? How's it going to go?
Well, Marty, I think the game has all the ingredients of a marvellous game, a classic, I should say. Both teams are very well prepared. Both are confident of winning, which is important.
To use those, perhaps a break with tradition, who knows? There's some wind blowing up here in Croke Park as well. Dublin already out on the field. Barry Callahan from Meath joined me first of all. Barry, I'm sure you're very disappointed to not be playing here today, but you were inside with your Meath colleagues a few short moments ago. What's the atmosphere like?
The lads are in good form now, feeling confident, just mad to get out on the pitch now at this stage, waiting to get going. And conditions seem good, small bit of breeze, but you'll always get that in Croke Park, and conditions are a lot better than when we played Dublin last year, very wet, so we hope to make the most of that.
You're All-Ireland champions, of course, so the only way is down, really, isn't it?
Yes, that's true, but from the team that won that Ireland last year, we have four changes in that, so those lads have to prove it now today. We have to do it all again.
Martin O'Connell in particular will be a very big loss for Meath.
Yeah, Martin's experience there will be missed at the back. That's the way it goes. The lads have come in and just have to do the job now. He's shown the way over the last few years, so now the rest of the lads have to pick it up from that.
You have the Meath fans behind you here at the moment?
Yes, yeah, there's a great atmosphere at the moment. Hopefully now they'll be shouting, plenty to shout about today.
OK, thanks very much indeed, Barry Callahan. And joining me as well is John Costello, the Secretary of the Dublin County Board. John, can you explain to me why the teams are in the old dressing rooms? Is it a bit of superstition on behalf of Dublin?
Well, there is probably a bit of that. The lads are very used to this. Last year we used the new dressing rooms for the first time, but also I think the Leinster Council decided to afford the opportunity for two new teams, Offaly and Wicklow, have not been in Croke Park for some time, to use the facilities. And I think that's an excellent decision by them.
12 of the team that won the All-Ireland 2 years ago. Does that mean you thought that the team 2 years ago was more or less the right blend?
No, I mean, obviously the selectors pick the best team that they feel that is right for the occasion. Today they feel that they have the right squad, the players are confident in the dressing rooms. We haven't had a competitive match since the last round of the National Football League in March, and the lads are very hungry for the game and are quite confident about winning it.
Full back line will be a very important line for you, of course. A lot of inexperience there.
Yes, Paddy Moran has been a loss. Also, we have two new players, Ian Robertson and Paddy Christie, but both players have played with Dublin in the league. They also played Sigerson Cup with DCU. They're experienced players. Meath went into this game the Leinster final last year in a similar position with Darren Fay and Mark O'Reilly, and there's no better stage for players like that than to have an outstanding debut.
Well, to John and to Barry, we wish you the very best of luck, and thanks for joining us. You can hear the Artane Boys Band, I'm sure. The atmosphere really hotting up here in Croke Park, but for the moment...
It's in general up there on the canal end, although there are quite a few. September, Donald Curtis and Nigel Nestor are regarded as having the fitness and the replay against Mayo. Now, Dublin introduced two championship newcomers in their full back line, Paddy Christie and Ian Robertson from the Ballymont Kickhams Club, but whether or not they in 1995, all of which suggests that their passage to the next round is based on the direction of Pat O'Neill's team. Paddy Moran, Keith Galvin, Mick Deegan are the absentees, while Eamon Healy continues at left half back. And the old full forward line is endorsed. It reads Charlie Redmond, Mick Galvin and Jason Sherlock. Mind you, disregard the numbers on their backs once this game gets underway. There was quite a contrast when the teams arrived here. Both teams came early, a good hour before this match. Meath dropped the gear bags into the dressing room, in the old dressing rooms that is, and then headed up to the first level of the Hogan stand to watch the match between Offaly and Wicklow. Dublin arrived roughly the same time, came into their dressing rooms, and they were all sitting down, nothing very noisy or anything like that. They were extremely calm. Has gone to top of the right. Meanwhile, it's Brian White, assisted by John Bannon and Pat O'Toole from Longford. Brian White from Wexford getting the match underway. And here come the Dubs straight away. Desi Farrell trying to go by there. Jimmy McGuinness was the man who was putting in the challenge. That's Charlie Redmond, first shot at the target, but misdirecting his shot. Charlie is top of the left, wearing 13, as you can see, and being marked by Mark O'Reilly. And Jason Sherlock is across top of the right, wearing 15. Trevor Giles has also switched with Tommy Dowd. So switches all about the place. That's Trevor Giles taken to ground there by Keith Barr. It'll be a free kick for Meath. Trevor Giles preparing to take this. In towards Tommy Dowd. Looking for the first point for me, the wonderful kick, and it drops over the bar. Last year's captain opens the scoring in typical fashion. First chance, first score.
That's a brilliant start for Tommy Dowd, who up until now hasn't had very many good games against Dublin. Tommy is very, very keen to change that. The switch into the corner will suit him. He's on Kieran Walsh in there, and he could do a lot of damage in the inside line.
This is nicely taken there by Paul Beelan. A very wayward pass, however, by Beelan, and there was no way that Jason Sherlock was going to be able to keep that ball in play.
Yes. Evan Kelly, of course, playing at right half forward now on Eamon Heary, and Trevor Giles, where he's been playing most of his football in the challenge matches for Meath recently, at centre forward on Keith Barr.
Good deep ball. Graham Geraghty trying to make it his. Instead, it's Paul Curran. Good block that time. Trevor Giles was one of the players involved. The other was John McDermott. Worked out towards Beelan. Bad kick, however. Mark O'Reilly knocking that ball downfield. Judged well here by Kieran Walsh. Beelan once again, same target. Picking out Paul Clark there, popping up on the right-hand side. Beating Nigel Nestor to it. And Conor Martin from the Liver was challenged there by Jim Gavin. He collided into him.
While Dublin playing in ball in behind the full back line, Jim Gavin in there and Conor Martin. Oh, harmless enough tackle, and good to see Conor getting up and getting on with it.
The big men coming to claim it at midfield. It's taken by Desi Farrell, the centre half forward. It's quite a packed midfield anytime there's a kick out in these early minutes. Nice ball to Jason Sherlock. Putting Mark O'Reilly the wrong way. Comes back to Paul Clark. Well, Colm Coyle was the one who was bypassed that time.
There's a fantastic block by Darren Fay coming in, and Jason with a clear shot on goal. Colm Coyle lost his footing. The ground would be slippy enough. I see a lot of players are wearing moulded studs, and it certainly is a day for screwing.
So 45 then, and Charlie Redmond preparing to take it, looking for the equaliser for Dublin. Familiar Charlie shuffle then. So many paces back and then going to the side. maximum concentration. Strikes it sweetly. And over the bar, and the sides are level from the 45. Charlie Redmond, now resident of Ashbourne in County Meath, where he also plays a very decent game of golf. So that's the scene up there in Hill 16. And they'll be very pleased that Dublin have drawn level instantly.
Yes, it'd be a big boost to Charlie too, because he missed a couple of easy enough ones in last year's Leinster final, and with just 2 points in it at the end, I know that he was fairly sorry about what he had missed during that match.
Again, the ball drops into the middle of the field. Dublin players held back. Brian Steins delivering the pass to Keith Barr. Outside of the boot, he was fouled, and the ball free will be from where the ball lands. So it advances Dublin's case about 15 metres, but mostly to the left-hand side. Charlie Redmond preparing to hit it. Well, opting to hit it from the ground. No doubt buoyed up by the 45 he put over just seconds ago. Again, a fine kick by Charlie Redmond. This time dropping a little short, however, and there was a Dublin player moving into the square there. Seems to be Paul Beelan. That's Nigel Nestor. Towards Brendan Riley, fists it on well, and Tommy Dowd is waiting inside Kieran Walsh. The angled kick, just dropping to the left. Has to be content with 1 from 2 from his shot so far. Big task this afternoon for Mickey Whelan. Can he take his side through to the next round of the Leinster Championship and a meeting with Kildare? Or will it be Sean Boylan's day there with the other selectors, Frank Foley and Eamon O'Brien?
Great chance for me there. Tommy Dowd had an open field in front of him. He shot very hastily. Could have nearly gone in for a goal.
Paul Beelan coming for this one. It's fisted back, however, by Jimmy McGuinness towards Ollie Murphy. Waiting for the ball to come back out there from Paddy Christie. That's Paul Curran. Up into the air. Lost there, however. Back to Beelan, driving it forward towards Jason Sherlock against Colm Coyle. Should be quite a tussle. And clearly the tactic is, if you have Jason in the team, you play the ball into him fast. And he certainly is testing Coyle so far. So Charlie Redmond in no particular hurry to hit this latest free. Struck the last one from outside the 45-metre line. Hit it really well, but it dropped short. Wouldn't have counted anyway, because I think Paul Beelan was in the square before the ball came in. This, much more scoreable. Just about 30 metres out. By the way, there's little or no breeze to worry about this afternoon. Perfect conditions for football. This to give Dublin the lead. He's got it. 2 frees out of 3 for Charlie. And Dublin hit the frontier and lead by 2 points to 1.
The Dublin tactics with Jason Sherlock are now becoming fairly clear. He's moving right across the field, and Dublin are playing the ball for him to run across to the left corner forward position. And the message for the Meath backs is fairly clear too. They can't afford to foul today.
Brian Steins fists it down towards Paul Clark. One instead here by centre-half back Enda McManus. The intention was to link up with Brendan Riley. It's taken instead, however, by Ian Robertson. Dessie Farrell was rather clobbered that time. Curtis continuing to race after him. Not able to get a connection, however. Brian Steins nicely back for Charlie Redmond. Look where Brendan Riley is, way back helping his defence. Nice ball inside to Jason Sherlock. In the thick of the action the whole time. Good layoff to Dessie Farrell. Trying to go by Trevor Giles. Back from Jim Gavin to Mick Galvin. The angle shot fisted out by Conor Martin as Paul Clark was in there to challenge. This is John McDermott, and he was bundled over there by Brian Steins. Well, that was an interesting piece of goalkeeping. This is what happened as it was fed back there. Eventually from Gavin to McGalvin. And the goalkeeper, Conor Martin, had to push it away. Dangerous moment.
Yes, the sun would be in Conor Martin's eyes there too. It wouldn't be helping with that ball coming across.
Mark O'Reilly then with the free kick for Meath. Wide into the centre. Jim Gavin, the Dublin player. Keith Barr setting off. Brian Steins there with support. Steins for Dublin, kicking and putting it over the bar. Dublин's first point from play, coming from the midfield player. Dublin 3, Meath 1, after Meath took the lead.
Well, a lot of Dublin players over here. Brian Steins with plenty of options, gets by Enda McManus quite easily. An easy point for them. I suppose the main thing so far in the first 10 minutes of the game, Dublin looked an awful lot hungrier than they did in the corresponding match last year.
They're getting the breaks at midfield as well. And just as we say that, John McDermott picks it up for Meath. Chased after by Paul Beelan. McDermott looking for another point. And that's a sweet kick. The team captain giving the example. Great kick indeed by John McDermott. Well, he was very positive once he took that ball from midfield. He makes it 3 points to 2.
And John McDermott had the legs on Paul Beelan, comes back in to make the angle for himself and kicks a super point. Just what Meath needed, because for 5 minutes there they weren't getting any ball in the middle of the field.
So far a match without the hard, tough challenges that you normally associate with this pair involved. It's been good, free-flowing football by and large. Keith Barr to kick this to the completely unmarked Paul Beelan. The run being made by Jim Gavin. That'll be a Meath ball. Donald Curtis, the player involved here, hails from Rathkenny. Came on as a sub in 2 of last year's championship matches, which included the drawn All-Ireland final with Mayo. Evan Kelly opting to leave that one for Trevor Giles, Footballer of the Year 12 months ago. That's a great ball across there. Leicester linking up here with Jimmy McGuinness with a very tight haircut from 45 metres out. That's wonderful kicking. The equaliser from the other midfielder, Jimmy McGuinness. More or less saying to John McDermott, what you can do, I can do likewise. So it's 3 points apiece.
Quick thinking there by Trevor Giles, and very good movement by Nigel Nestor to get into a position to carry the ball forward and give it to Jimmy McGuinness.
It's turning out to be the kind of match we hoped it would be. McGuinness to Graham Geraghty. Haven't seen a lot of Graham so far. Brendan Riley under this against Ian Robertson. Kicking to put Meath in front. Brendan Riley, the point scorer, his first of the day, and the Royal County are back in front once more. Meath 4, Dublin 3.
That's a fantastic response by Meath after being 3-1 down, kicking 3 incredible points from play. That one by Brendan Riley off his right foot. Good work by Graham Geraghty to put him in the clear with a long free.
Beelan and McGuinness. Stalemate situation. It ends up being a Meath ball. To date, a very good contest. Referee Brian White going across there to check with his linesman just to make sure that the call is right. It'll be Trevor Giles. And Trevor, in fact, is leaving it to Jimmy McGuinness. Towards Evan Kelly. Against Eamon Heary. Getting away from Heary, steadying himself. He had the time. He's put it wide, however. Just the second wide for Meath. Played, of course, in the drawn All-Ireland final, but was omitted for the replay from the start, that is.
I suppose, Ger, whatever little bit of wind advantage Meath have it in the first half, it may not be much, but it could be worth a few points.
It's a very slight advantage. That's wonderful fielding. Brilliant fielding by Brian Steins. And toe poked away from him by Trevor Giles. as we were admiring the high fielding, steadied himself as he was coming down, but then a lapse of concentration and Giles was in quickly. Nicely kicked in by Paul Curran. Darren Fay back there. McManus's kick. Up towards Tommy Dowd, playing on the half-forward line. He's moved out that way, away from Kieran Walsh, kicking from 45 metres. Well, his first point was absolutely wonderful, but he's missed a couple of kickable scores in the last few minutes. Meath continuing to lead by just a point. Might be whipping up a little bit, as Curran suggests here. They seem to be held back somewhat with that kick out. Here's Ollie Murphy. Paul Curran chasing. Almost given to Eamon Heary. Evan Kelly has it to make amends for the one that went wide, and he's put it over the bar. Stretching Meath's lead. Evan Kelly's first point. And I think all of the Meath points so far have all come from play. They lead by 5 points to 3.
The Meath forwards, the obvious policy is to shoot on sight here. Ollie Murphy had possession there, had a chance when he gave the ball out him, and here he should have picked it up and clear, and Evan Kelly is on hand to kick over an easy point.
John McDermott. No challenge on John McDermott as he plays it nicely forward. Still Evan Kelly. Paul Clark was back there, but eventually forced to drag him down, just on the edge of the exclusion zone. So here's a kickable free then for Meath coming up. Trevor Giles will be the taker. They lead by double scores if this goes over. Just about 16 and a half minutes gone in the first half. He pops it over with little difficulty. Trevor's first score of this match. 4 of the 6 forwards have now scored, together with the 2 midfielders, and it's 6 points to 3. But really an excellent comeback by Meath in this first half. Remember, they were trailing by 3 points to 1. Means that Dublin haven't scored for quite some time. Short kick out by John O'Leary this time, as far as Ian Robertson. Eamon Heary dropping it into the inside forward line. Darren Fay against Mick Galvin. Galvin loses it. It's Mark O'Reilly who has it for Meath. Robertson under him once again. The 2 debut boys in the full back line. Bad pass. Graham Geraghty has it. Easy chance. Once he made the steal. Once it was a poor fisted pass by the fullback. And Graham Geraghty gets his first score. And Meath now have a handsome lead of 7 points to 3. Well, that effectively coming from a passing error.
Yes, Ian Robertson, a very bad pass out, so gives an easy point to Graham Geraghty, gets him into the game. The last 3 scores that Meath have got have come from mistakes by Dublin players.
Steins and McDermott over both their heads. Beelan and the referee says, hang on, there was a push. It's going to be a free downfield for Dublin. I think the referee indicting John McDermott there. And Keith Barr, the team captain, trying to get his forward line going. Again, they're trying to pick out Jason Sherlock. Sherlock, dangerous situation here. Closed down quickly. Steins waiting for it. Comes to Charlie Redmond. Charlie Redmond in a tussle over there. Colm Coyle then continuing to chase, chasing shadows at times. In by Finn Gallen, wrestled by Desi Farrell. And no. Just spilling over momentarily. And that the only flare-up we've had in this match, thankfully. Conor Martin wanted to take the free kick quickly to the unmarked Mark O'Reilly. think they've all learned the lesson from last year's All-Ireland final. And common sense prevailed.
It's noticeable Meath are playing a lot of long ball into their forwards. The half-forward line is playing well out the field and there's plenty of space. Dublin aren't able to create anything like the same sort of space as the Meath forwards.
Mr. down by McGuinness to McDermott. Nigel Nestor towards Tommy Dowd. In towards Brendan Riley, and it pops out of his hand to the waiting arms of Kieran Walsh. Paul Clark going on a little solo run, looking for Desi Farrell. Here's John McDermott. Paddy Christie over there having difficulty, and it's Jimmy McGuinness who played it wide out there for Trevor Giles. McGuinness with the kick inside. Conor O'Leary coming together. Good fetching by O'Leary. That was difficult to take. Did it well. Here's Keith Barr. Dublin needing a score badly. Nick Galvin needing to get into this match. Outside for Charlie Redmond. Low inside towards Jason Sherlock. Runs beyond him, however. The referee says play on. There was no push. John McDermott back helping his defence. Towards Trevor Giles, wisely fisting it on, but it was intended to link up with Graham Geraghty. Instead, it's Paul Curran. Now the other Paul Beelan. Almost taking too long about playing that ball into the inside forward line. But the unfair challenge came in, free to Dublin. Mickey Whelan not one bit pleased. Our sideline reporter this afternoon is Tony O'Donoghue, and Tony has some news for us.
Well, just that Mickey Whelan isn't pleased, you're quite right. He's been up quite a lot recently from his place on the bench to the sideline, and he's been telling Jim Gavin and Paul Clark to get wide, get right to the touchline, and also to try and swap over wings. You'll notice Paul Clark coming over to the right-hand side, Jim Gavin going to the left. They're trying to create the space that we were talking about earlier, and maybe that can unlock the key to the Meath defence.
Thank you, Tony. Well, Dublin haven't scored since the 9th minute. Here's Charlie Redmond. Can he do something about that? Nigel Nestor touches it down, and John McDermott is there. Strong, resourceful fellow. The boot into the middle of the field. Paul Curran to mop it up. Darting away from Graham Geraghty. Keith Barr is next. The team captain. Great pass outside to Charlie Redmond. And this is where it started just moments ago with that kick by Charlie. That's Steins, and he's put it to the left, and he's put it wide. Third wide for Dublin. They had all the possession there, and time as well, to try and put that ball over the bar, but failed to do so. So 22 minutes gone, and 4 between them.
Well, the difference between the two teams is fairly clear. Dublin are moving the ball much slower into their forward line than Meath, and when players get it, they're often under a lot of pressure. Meath forwards get the few yards of space and they're able to kick over the point. Brian Steins there, plenty of time and room, misses from a fairly easy position.
There's certain concern here now about that shoulder injury to John McDermott. Sean Boylan in there just to try and make sure that John McDermott is fit to continue. He's started very, very prominently. He's been up and down the field. He kicked a beautiful point. And every time Dublin get frees, he's back around the Meath goal area, making the fetches and also making himself available for touches down by others. John's okay, at least fit enough to continue in midfield. And play will continue with a kick out to Meath. Conor Martin from the Liver, of course. First faced Dublin in the championship in 1995. That was in the Leinster final. And of course, Dublin had a handsome 10 points win. This is his 10th championship match. Trevor Giles was positive, went for it. Very secure in his fetching. Enda McManus. Little block on it by Charlie. I think it will count as a Meath wide, because Dublin have got the sideline kick. I think there was a little block on it, however. Kieran Walsh towards Brian Steins. 3 men around him. Having the strength to pass it outside with a poor ball for Desi Farrell, easily marked. Evan Kelly stepping outside the sideline. I'm not sure that the ball did. His feet were definitely outside.
He hopped the ball twice as well.
It's going to be a sideline ball and not a free. Geary towards Charlie Redmond. Charlie is injured. Touched on the ground, but Charlie is down injured, and there's a lot of concern. It's a hand injury, I think. He's in a lot of pain, it seems. They must be concerned on the sideline that Charlie hasn't really got into the match yet. Neither has Mick Galvin. And the elbow, I think, is causing the bother. Dr. Pat Duggan will be in there to attend to him. Reviewing the match so far, which is 25 minutes old, Colin, it's gone well from a Meath point of view.
It certainly has, after the first 10 minutes when Dublin looked very sharp and very hungry and were dominating around the middle of the field. Since then, Meath have got into their normal game. Every Dublin player that gets the ball, there seems to be about 3 Meath men around them, and they're putting them under a lot of pressure and forcing Dublin into making mistakes.
The important thing, I think, is, as Charlie recovers here, that Meath are showing they've still got the hunger. Look where Ollie Murphy is. Looking for his first point. It's a great kick. Point. And with that, every one of the Meath forward line and midfield has scored in the match. A point each. It's a bit like sharing out the vote in the general election. It's 8 points to 3.
That's an incredible run of scores by the Meath forward line. Again, Ollie Murphy from Carnow Ross, well known for this at club level. Very accurate off right or left, but that's what he's there for.
That is his first point of the day, as we say, in his 5th championship match. There's McDermott popping it forward. Brendan Riley contesting there with Ian Robertson. And here he can't make it. The Dublin backs need to be a bit more vigilant. Tommy Dowd, Meath come pouncing. Nice point. Trevor Giles is second. First from play. Meath are really hungry for victory. They always are against the Dubs. Press home their advantage time and again. And there's the lead, a lead of 6 points. Well, apart from that spell at the beginning where Dublin led by 3 points to 1, the Dubs have been most disappointing. Steins tries to take it down. One back here to Keith Barr. Paul Curran for Dublin. Desi Farrell trying to get away from Enda McManus. Trying to set something up. It's a long, long time since we had a Dublin score. Mark O'Reilly trying to pick up the broken ball here. Referee having a right good look at it. Kicked away by Trevor Giles, and a sideline ball for Dublin.
Again, the same story with Desi Farrell in possession. 3 or 4 Meath men around him, and Trevor Giles being the player who got in the clearance.
18 minutes now since a Dublin score. Paul Curran usually pops up for a point or two, trying to be the creator here. Jason Sherlock, always a threat to the Meath defence. And Jim Gavin has kicked it over the bar. That's one they really badly needed. Tiny bit happier up on Hill 16, because Jim Gavin has made it 9 points to 4. There's plenty of music makers on the hill this afternoon. You can hear the Bowron in the background.
Fair play to Jim Gavin for taking the responsibility. A lot of Dublin players from passing the ball around now, not willing to shoot.
Paul Nealon has dropped it down to Graham Geraghty. He's held back. Oh, what a punch. Keith Barr angry there with Evan Kelly. Brian White have to maintain order. It'll be a free to Meath. They've had the better possession in this first half. They've turned them into scores. Graham Geraghty looking for another one for the Royal County, and that time John O'Leary is out ahead of John McDermott. That was dangerous once again. Here's Jim Gavin. Graham Geraghty there to try and take it from him, and he does so. Great steal. Out by Brendan Riley. Brendan says, give it to me and I'll knock it over if I can. Occasionally failed to do so, and Tommy Dowd on his near side was appealing to him. Why didn't you pass it to me? Well, twice in this first half, John O'Leary has had to race out from his goal to make important interventions. This was the latest.
Yes, and John McDermott, midfielder in there and that, but even when they got the ball out, again, amazing the amount of times Dublin have lost the ball with very, very stupid passing in their back line.
Dublin, to me, looked like a team who were waiting for this match to turn around in their favour. Actually, Meath are making it happen. Going for it time and again. McGuinness, Nestor here, the debut man. Still keeping it away from Brian Steins and Paul Clark. And that'll be a free kick to Meath, but not from the correct position, and Tommy Dowd can bring the ball back. So 5 minutes to go to half-time. And Meath will be delighted with 9 points so far. Trevor Giles will hit this. Getting good distance in towards Brendan Riley, dropped down by the backs. Graham Geraghty with a chance, Ollie Murphy following in! The first goal of the day. A hesitant John O'Leary and his Dublin defence beaten by Ollie Murphy, and a goal after 31 minutes. And that's put the seal on a very good first half for the Royal County. 1-9 to 4 points. I'm sure Meath could scarcely believe it would be this easy in the first half. But this is how it came about.
Again, Meath not worried about putting in long, high balls. Broken down to Graham Geraghty, who goes for a point. Half blocked by Ollie Murphy. John O'Leary slipped, and Ollie Murphy finishes off for an easy goal.
Meath again sensing that they should press home their advantage. Here they come once more. Tommy Dowd up on his feet again. The referee in there, however. And they signal it's going to be a free for some shirt tugging. Dublin player on the ground injured as Keith Barr was ready to restart. That's Tommy Dowd. And the Meath fans up on the canal with the flares and so on. Paddy Christie is the injured Dublin player. Well, it's really party time. They always love to beat the old enemy from Dublin, neighbouring counties. But there was so much hesitation in that Dublin full back line for that goal. Perhaps it was a fortunate score, but it fell kindly for Ollie Murphy, and he wasn't going to look a gift horse in the mouth. So the medical people in there to attend to the injured. And it seems like everybody's okay and able to continue.
Again, it shows the long, high ball in there, putting Dublin under a lot of pressure. If it had to break right, it could have been another goal. Dublin not able to cope with the fact that Meath are keeping their two lines, their full forward line and their half line, well spread out, leaving plenty of space to put the ball into.
Brendan Riley is back there. Trevor Giles onto Nigel Nestor. Keith Barr coming in to try and make a challenge. Can't do so. The young man against the vastly experienced parents, the young man who's got himself the free in, and Graham Geraghty says, well done to Nigel Nestor. Free to Meath. I think at this stage that Sean Boylan will be hoping that the game just continues. Half-time is probably the last thing he wants. But from a Dublin point of view, they need the break in 2 minutes very, very badly. They've got to reorganise. Otherwise, they're out of this year's championship. So Trevor Giles, physiotherapy student at UCD, knocking it over with relative ease. And now a goal, 3 points for Trevor Giles, 2 of them from frees and 1 from play. 110 to 4 points. And it seems that Mick Deegan is about to be brought into this match. Recently married. Indeed, he married a sister-in-law of Charlie Redmond. And the player going off is Paul Clark. So Dublin have to take action even before the half-time break. Brian Steins breaks it down here, but only as far as the hungry-looking Trevor Giles, hungry for victory, that is. Brendan Riley in towards Tommy Dowd. And that's over the end line, and that's wide, and Tommy wasn't too pleased with the decision. Looked like an earlier one, the feet may have been out, the ball may not have been. The referee, Brian White, just saying to Paul Curran, bring the ball back to the correct position. But Dublin must be absolutely shell-shocked. There's the substitution they've been forced to make even before half-time.
Well, it's not surprising to see Mick Deegan coming on. They could have taken off half a dozen players, but Dublin's biggest problem at the moment, I think, is that centre half back Trevor Giles is running the game for Meath there, and he's picking up all the breaks from around the middle of the field.
So last half minute of this first half, Meath have made 16 chances, taken 11 of them. Dublin have made 9 chances, they've taken just 4. Here comes Paul Curran, son of a Meath man. Still Paul Curran, great pace. Nice layout outside to Leslie Farrell, inside to Keith Barr. This is what they need! And the captain has brought them back into the match on the call of half-time. Delight on Hill 16. Delight here among the Dublin fans throughout Croke Park. It's exactly what the game has required. Will that now turn this match around in Dublin's favour? The second half still to come. Keith Barr up there to join the attack and finish off a splendid move. 110 to 1-4, 6 between them, but looking so much better from a Dublin point of view. Graham Geraghty fists it on. Picked up here, however, by Paddy Christie. Mick Deegan, first taste of the action. Can he now inspire the Dubs? Leslie Farrell, they'll play with, I'm sure, newfound confidence at this stage. Phelan, inside for Heary. It's a point for the taking here, and Eamon Heary avails of it. What a second half we may now be in for. And now it's probably the Dubs who are hoping that half-time won't come. All of a sudden they've taken command.
2 brilliant scores. Keith Barr, who I had just said was in trouble against Trevor Giles at centre back, makes me eat my words. Good work by Paul Curran. He really did most of the work. Desi Farrell inside to Keith, and Keith, struggling at the back, comes forward like a good captain and really rams it in the net, and he's going to make a real game of this now.
It's caught by Nigel Nestor for Meath, crossing the 65-metre line. Inside it goes, but Paddy Christie has dropped it down. Ian Robertson there to help him. Outside for Paul Curran. Dublin looking so fresher all of a sudden. What a couple of scores can do for you. Mickey Whelan over on the sideline, urging on Paul Curran, dragged down, and that'll be a free to Dublin. Well into injury time. Good ball across. Steins has it, here's another chance, and it's over the bar. What a transformation. 2 points for Brian Steins. And all of a sudden, there's very little to choose between these teams. Only 4 points.
Yes, and turning into a brilliant match. Great scores on both sides. Fantastic movement and fitness. Great ball across the field by Charlie Redmond. Brian Steins stands behind John McDermott, picks it out of the air and nearly put it in the net.
Dublin went a long, long time without scoring in this half, but they trail at half-time by just 4 points, thanks to the goal by Keith Barr, thanks to some late scores as well, the last one there by Brian Steins. And the second half, well, we can't wait for it. It looked like Meath were coursing away with this match, just sailing through it, in fact, almost in route.
That we've been talking about what a good first half of football it's been. We've seen some fabulous scores, and I mean, we could have picked any one of the scores in this game so far, but John McDermott we've just picked out as an example of the kind of scores from play that we've seen.
Well, for the first 10 minutes, Meath struggled at midfield, and it took a fella like McDermott to take responsibility, kick the ball over the bar from nearly 50 yards distance. It was one of the hallmarks of today's game, these long-range points. And any player, inter-county player, both midfielder and forward, worth their salt, within 50 yards of the goal, should be able to kick the ball over the bar from any angle. No no Dublin forward managed to do that. No Dublin forward managed to score from play, and that's the difference between the two sides.
Tony, this was the point that you made before the match, that you thought Meath were going to win it. You couldn't see Dublin getting those scores in the forward line.
No, I couldn't really, and it just showed it all throughout this whole game. 6 of the Meath forwards and the 2 midfielders have scored from play, and some of the scores that Meath got were from unbelievable angles. They were just shots that they shouldn't have taken, and they had the confidence to have a cut, and every one of them went over the bar.
And then they get this goal on top of it all, somewhat fortuitous perhaps, but taken well.
Yes, but it's typical Meath. High ball into the square. Really, it wasn't any. It was just a fluke really that dropped into one of their hands. But they fight for all the loose possession around the place. Ollie Murphy, or Garrett Hughes, Ollie Murphy blocks it and knocks it into the goal. But he chased it all the way in. Typical Meath football. They will never ever give up. Here we see it again, broken down. Garrity should have probably taken his points, and lucky for Ollie Murphy, but he never ever gives up. And any ball that breaks around the middle of the field or in the forward line, if they get a free shot, they will have a cut. They're very, very confident.
At that point, Pat, it was looking very, very bad for Dublin. They were not winning any sector of the play around the field, but they got the goal, and then there was a point after that, and the goal has given them a new lease of life in this match.
Yes, for the last 5 minutes of the first half, they changed their approach. They became more direct, and their more seasoned campaigners who were having nightmares, Keith Barr and Paul Curran, started to come into the game. But the one thing that they did in the last 5 minutes is they started to play the ball direct. They played with a purpose. They weren't delegating responsibility. They tend to run into corners in the first half. They were playing too much ball into Gio. Gio's not going to score at all. Maybe a goal, but unlikely to score points. And the backs took on responsibility, took the game to the Meath defence, and the goal was a great run up the field from Paul Curran in the first place. You can see there was a purpose, there was movement. You had no movement by the Dubs in the first half. So it was a great run by Paul Curran, who had a very, very poor opening 30 minutes. And Keith Barr is always dangerous going forward. And it was an excellent goal, low to the corner, unstoppable. And like I said, that last 5 minutes, they were brilliant. It was great support there, great movement. Up to Din, they were playing it out, they were playing it back, they were delegating responsibility. There was always purpose in that attack. They were going for the goal, and when they got the opportunity, they were taking it, you know. And that was the difference. And they will have to have a big performance from their forwards. I mean, no forward to score from play in the first half. If Dublin are going to lose this match, at the moment, the forwards will have to take the major share of the blame.
We're going to see in the second half of the game whether they can do that or not. Right now, though, we take our second commercial break. Join us again for the second half right after that.
In the meantime, what have you done for the second half?
That's right. For the first half, we started very well, went 3 points to 1 ahead. Meath came straight into the game then. You know, they dominated midfield. They were much sharper around the middle, getting the breaks or whatever. The switch from Mick Deegan for Paul Clark seems to have worked. Has a settling effect in the team. Paul Curran started coming in the game with 2 great runs there, and they're taking heart from that, and they realise they're only 4 points down. Last year we were beaten by 10 points, and you know, they're going for it.
But you were dead and buried at one stage in that first half.
We were gone until the switch, and then we could keep Barr's goal. You know, we had nothing at all, say, from the, you know, maybe 10th minute or 5th minute or whatever through to maybe the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game.
Are you thinking about switches, though? You've stayed now with the same team that left the pitch at half-time. Are you thinking about switches?
Not immediately, but obviously maybe some surgery will have to be done to the full back line if Meath continue dominating there, you know, and maybe midfield also.
Dublin are the team out first, and Charlie Redmond there was thinking about calling everybody together. Meath coming back out onto the park. No indications of any changes for Sean Boylan so far. Paddy Reynolds there, one of his options. But Mickey Whelan had his team back out onto the field pretty quickly after the half-time break. And I just got the feeling that they were beginning to pick up the tempo of the match before half-time and want to regain that initiative instantly. So Mickey Whelan there in the background moving away. Centre half forward in '63, of course, in the All-Ireland final against Galway. And Barry O'Callaghan is down there to talk to Tony.
Barry, the Meath dressing room at half-time, you must have been a little bit concerned the way Dublin came back.
Yes, we let Dublin back into it, but you're never going to beat Dublin by that much. And we knew they were going to come back, but we let them in a bit easy for the goal and 2 points there near the end. I'm a bit disappointed with that.
I see Martin O'Connell has been warming up. Are they thinking about bringing him on at all?
I'm not sure. Martin would be available to come on, but we don't need him yet. We're not panicking yet. We're still 4 points in front.
Thank you very much.
OK.
So Martin O'Connell there, moving along with PJ Gillick. He must be also a real live candidate to come in. Of course, a link with 87, 88. So second half gets underway, and straight away it's Jimmy McGuinness dropping it in towards Brendan Riley. Gathered with some difficulty, however, by Ian Robertson. This is Eamon Heary. Didn't figure on the All-Ireland winning team of '95. Brian Stein's trying to push it forward there. John McDermott going back to take on the responsibility. It was such a free-flowing first half. Let's hope it can restart in similar fashion. Heary. Free to Dublin. Paul Beelan taking it over. Sure, Mickey Whelan will be delighted with the way they finished that first half. Enda McManus, shoulder coming in from Jason Sherlock. McManus is a strongly built fellow. Touched on there by Ollie Murphy, the goal scorer for Meath. One back here by Ian Robertson. Keith Barr. McDeegan, first half sub. Paul Beelan, good build-up by Dublin. Good start. Beelan expecting McDeegan to go back to take the pass from him. I mean, to knock it ahead here to Desi Farrell, who now looks like he's toppled the right. Farrell bearing in on goal against three Meath defenders, and Colin Cole protesting to referee Brian White about the number of steps taken. But the referee says it's a free into the Dubs. Sun in the eyes of Sean Boylan. So
the Dubs' best move there, Ger, has been bringing on McDeegan, because he's been involved in everything constructive in the few minutes before half-time. Again, involved in that move that led to this score, surely, for Charlie. He's playing at left half forward now.
Charlie taps it over with little difficulty. Charlie has now got 3 points in this match, 1 from a 45, 2 from routine frees, and just 3 points between them. Certainly a really good contest. And 62,342 are enjoying it this afternoon. Conor Martin going to the right-hand side this time towards Nigel Nestor and Jimmy McGuinness. Nestor knocking it forward. Paul Beelan comes back here for Dublin. Good ball outside to McDeegan. Hard to believe that he was left off the Dublin team in the first place. Here's Eamon Heary. Knocked in well. Dropped down by the defender in here. That's Donald Curtis. Challenged by Jason Sherlock the whole time and brought down in the end. Well, Jason can play soccer, basketball, Gaelic football, and they're showing his credentials for rugby as well.
That's a Meath change that was made about 10 minutes before half-time. Colm Coyle wasn't doing well, and Sherlock and Donald Curtis has dropped back into cornerback.
Great fetch by Brian Steins, upended by Trevor Giles. Knocked towards the target man. Inevitably, it's Jason. Donald Curtis, as you heard, his marker. In for Jim Gavin to try and run to him. The goalkeeper has come, it beats them all. That time Conor Martin was out to help his defender, who was Colm Coyle, just in case this danger man got it. But he's very much the player. You can see that Dublin are looking to time and again with those diagonal runs from right to left.
I'm sure the Dublin management would be saying to Jason, though, to take on this man and go for the goal.
Brian Steins was quick off the blocks once again, 45 metres out, going right through that part of the defence, and here comes Keith Barr for another one. Jason Sherlock, great block down. Oh, that was a wonderful block by Donald Curtis. And in the end, Meath breathe a huge sigh of relief. Mark O'Reilly getting it out to John McDermott. Well, that should have been a second Dublin goal, you feel. McDermott once again, Trevor Giles, and let off at one end, the build-up at the other. Ollie Murphy coming into chase against John O'Leary, who got there first. Linking up there with Paddy Christie, now Ian Robertson. A slow build-up from the back by Dublin. Eamon Heary, bad pass, but the referee says he was being held back. Brendan Riley will be called back. The referee had whistled some seconds ago. Free to Dublin, disappointment.
Well, a brilliant chance for Dublin to get right back into the game. Keith Barr again coming forward and into Jason. He had to stretch a little bit, but Donald Curtis makes a brilliant block.
Meath once again there with Evan Kelly. Referee having a quick word with the linesman. It's going to be Kieran Walsh who'll put this ball back in, or Eamon Heary rather, putting the ball back into play. Darren Fay collecting it from the clouds. Held up there by Desi Farrell. little wearier, of course, at the start of the second half and inclined to do a bit more fouling than was the case in the opening 35 minutes. Here's Nigel Nestor. He's made an impact. Towards Brendan Riley. Paddy Christie back there. From Ballymun Kickham's have contributed players like Dermot Deasy and Jerry Hargan to the Dublin full back line over the years. Here's Paul Curran. He's got assistance and support with Brian Steins against Graham Geraghty. Here's Paul Beelan saying to Brian Steins, take it forward. Paul Curran now. Great build-up. Started right at the back. Charlie Redmond can't hold on to this. John McDermott colliding with Mark O'Reilly, but Meath have it. Here's Jimmy McGuinness. Evan Kelly there was being jostled by Eamon Heary, and in the end it's Kelly who puts in the boot as Heary was going down to take possession, and Dublin get the free kick.
Again, Dublin there with possession, but attacking very, very slow, whereas if Meath in the same position were putting a long ball into the space.
I think the management would wish to see Dublin go at Meath time and again. So it'll be Charlie Redmond to hit this free, about 50 metres out, 2 or 3 metres, as you can see, in from the far sideline. Slight breeze behind him, still within his range. Going to the left, however, and nobody able to contain it. So that's 5 wides for Dublin in this match, 5 as well for Meath. But overall, a very free-flowing match by and large. So Dublin, who are well and truly out of this match, just about 5 minutes before half-time, now just within 3 points of the reigning All-Ireland champions. The greatest of rivals here in Leinster. Dessie Farrell has it. Going by one man, going by the second. McManus in to try and challenge. Then it's Darren Fay to take it away. McManus getting it back. Nigel Nestor there to assist him if he needs assistance. Indeed, he might well. The final kick is going to the left. Rather disappointing for full forward Mick Galvin. Hasn't had too many shots on the target, Mick Galvin. So a lovely fresh afternoon here in Dublin. Nice pleasant sunshine, not too warm however, there's a little breeze. John McDermott and Paul Beelan. Beelan won it, now it's Brian Steins at the backup. Charlie Redmond calling for it. Every score being so hard to come by. Certainly in the second half, marking is tighter. Players grouping together time and again to try and assist colleagues. McManus from Meath. Brendan Riley trying to benefit, who was pushing. Indeed, it's Evan Kelly who was doing the pushing on Eamon Heary. Brian Steins. Kelly is over there to try and take it from him. Onto the head towards Jason Sherlock, getting inside Donald Curtis, put on there for Paul Curran. Dublin with a chance, a fisted effort by Paul Curran, and that's gone over the bar. And now just 2 points the margin. Paul Curran's first score. Delight on Hill 16. Still feeling that they're very, very much in this match. Great piece of thinking there by Paul Curran, realised that he might be stopped as this ball was fed into him.
Great play by Jason Sherlock. It was a great ball across by Brian Steins to start off, and a very good point. Dublin totally dominant at the moment. The wind has picked up a good bit. Conor Martin kickouts are dropping very short, and Dublin are coming and punching from behind and causing the Meath backs a lot of problems.
Dublin's doctor is being called back in here to attend to the point score there, Paul Curran. He had those 8 stitches, of course, over the eye. It may, I guess it has indeed, opened up again. So Pat Duggan, the doctor there, wondering what he should do. He really has been a great campaigner over the years, Paul Curran, for Dublin, and in particular in matches against Meath. There was a suggestion during the week, of course, that he might play with the 8 stitches in, but he was concerned that if he had to wear a bandage, his visibility would be greatly reduced. He's okay, and play will continue with the kick out from the 20-metre line.
And the improvement in Dublin's performance came largely a result of the Dublin half-back line throwing caution to the winds and getting forward.
Broken down by Steins for Paul Beelan, and now Dublin are winning the exchanges at midfield. Towards Jason Sherlock, against Donald Curtis. Sherlock with pace. Inside, nice ball. Gavin was going in there. Couldn't hold it, however, and couldn't do anything with it. And Conor Martin with another let-off for Meath. Meath living dangerously in defence in the second half. Graham Geraghty across for Trevor Giles. That could have been another Dublin goal. That time it's Kieran Walsh who is pushed. Free to the Dubs, who've been dominant in the second half. Now where's the marking? You begin to wonder from Meath's point of view. And he's the man who had the chance, Jim Gavin.
Well, Jason doing what he's best at, getting the ball, gets round Donald Curtis, gives it in. Just a touch there from Darren Fay was enough to put it out of Jim Gavin's hands. But Dublin totally on top, and Meath living very dangerous at the moment. They need to be able to get up and get a score.
And we've got some further news from Tony.
It's Peter Ward about to come into the action for Dublin, the Kilmacud Crokes man. He'll be coming on in place of Jim Gavin.
Okay, so we will have that substitution presently. Meanwhile, Dublin. And there's the change we're talking about. Peter Ward then. Dublin have it again. Keith Barr. 2 between them. Keith dragged back there by McGuinness. Still Dublin. Mick Galvin take it outside to Charlie Redmond. Great knock down by Say. The under-21 man, captain of the team this year that reached the All-Ireland final. Colm Coyle keeping it away from Charlie Redmond. Evan Kelly is under that dropping ball. Nigel Nestor here. And far too much work there for Evan Kelly to do, and the ball over the sideline in any case. Meath are clearly rattled. And there's the substitution we talked about, or Tony mentioned just moments ago. Just giving the little slip of paper there. And the player making way is Jim Gavin. So disappointment for Jim Gavin, but for the intervention of a Meath back, he might well have had a goal to add to the point he scored earlier on. It looks like Paddy Moran going on there, and that indeed is the case. So another substitution. Here is Brian Steins, and still Brian Steins. Awkward angle. Nigel Nestor rises up for it, takes it away from Jason Sherlock. Paddy Moran isn't in the match just yet. Trevor Giles kicking it downfield. Tommy Dowd. 2 between them. Good ball for Evan Kelly. Against Ian Robertson. Back it goes to Ollie Murphy. This is Dowd. Great effort from Tommy Dowd, but he's put it wide. It was a glorious chance. 2 in on their knees. And a wonderful shot here of 2 great sportsmen. It could have been another piece of glory for Tommy Dowd. So Paddy Moran is confirmed as having come on, and he's going in there to try and settle that defence, and Kieran Walsh injured, limping off.
Well, Dublin have played their hand now. They've used their 3 subs. They can't afford any injuries. Looked as if Meath were going to get an easy point there after about 10 minutes of total domination by Dublin.
Still 20 minutes to go, and that's the situation. The kick out is short. Paul Curran. Bloodied and bruised somewhat. Paddy Moran has it here. Dropped forward. Well caught there by Enda McManus. And we have some further news on the far side, and as Brendan Riley goes through, we'll just give you that news in a moment. Brendan Riley, Ollie Murphy just ahead of him, looking for another goal for the day. Ollie Murphy is down, but he puts it as he was falling over, and the referee says penalty. It was wonderful individual work Ollie Murphy limps back here. And the man who scored such a glorious penalty last year in the final will be stepping up to take this one. That's the reason why. Point didn't count, the referee says. It should be a penalty. So a chance for Trevor Giles to do what he did against Mayo. Meath leading by 2 points. John O'Leary, the Dublin goalkeeper, playing in his 70th championship match. A wonderful record. Against Trevor Giles. This could be a key moment in this match. He's put it wide. Dublin's hopes live on. Despair on the canal end among the Meath followers. Here comes Peter Ward for Dublin. Jimmy McGuinness here. Charlie Redmond fouls him. Free to Meath.
Well, with Dublin pushing forward so much, there's gaps appearing at the back. That was one of them, and if it happens again and Meath get a goal, it'll kill off the match.
So Meath without a score in the second half so far, which is now 17 minutes old. Eamon Heary there, being dragged around by Ollie Murphy, and the referee says that's going to be a free downfield for Dublin. Yes, an intense look on his face, that gentleman there in the centre. So how will it go? 2 between them. Meath fans must be very, very concerned. They were hit for 6, as it were, before half-time with a goal and a couple of points, and now failing to score in this opening spell of the second half. Under pressure, Ward coming forward, his first chance, and he's kicked it over, and there's only a point between the teams. Peter Ward from Kilmacud Crokes. Happy Dublin fans. The 95 champions edging within a point of the 96 champions. It's 110 to 1-9, and it's marvellous fair.
Well, a great game, great football, and a great score from Peter Ward. Dublin forwards the first half weren't able to do that, and that's why he was on. Really going to be a great last 20 minutes.
Meath have made a change, and Jody Devine has come on in place of Evan Kelly. Jody was able to run at defences really well. But he had to get possession because Dublin are just lording it over Meath just now. And Paul Curran, it comes off the post, and he's unlucky. And it goes outside, and it's gone wide. There's the man who's made way, Evan Kelly. Evan, who was one of the point scorers in that glorious spell for Meath, which lasted about 25 minutes during the first half. But now the All-Ireland champions continuing to lead by just the minimum. Steamy afternoon, and that's confirmation of the change. Graham Geraghty, can he up his performance and really carry it up where he does? Well, when he starts lashing out like that, we've been given the free, and the referee now says, for retaliation, I'm hopping the ball. McDermott will be jumping with Paul Beelan. Won by the Dubs, but they can't quite hold it cleanly. Nigel Nestor in there to challenge Brian Steins. It's broken to John McDermott. Meath looking for their first point of the second half still. Paul Curran. Great driving inspiration from right half back. Hauled back by Jody Devine. Still Curran. Keith Barr. How invaluable his goal was. How critical the penalty missed by Meath. It's with Jason Sherlock beating the attempted block. The easy one, however, for Conor Martin of Beliver and Meath. Out to Nigel Nestor. 15 minutes remaining. Still Nestor. Donald Curtis has it, and the referee says, ball thrown, it's going to be a free to Dublin. And Charlie Redmond's coming across to take it. Concern there among the backroom team, subs and county board officials. There's the man who's come on to try and inspire the All-Ireland champions, Jody Devine.
Well, Meath are in big trouble in the middle of the field. Brian Steins is beginning to be a major influence now. And Paul Curtin is also doing a lot of damage on the right side, and they're probably where Meath should be thinking of making a change.
Interesting latest scores there from the Ulster Championship, and some names being taken here. Certainly Mark O'Reilly's had the name taken. It looks like Mick Galvin being booked as well. And don't forget that after this you'll have the second half of the Munster Hurling Championship. Limerick versus Tip to come. A mouth-watering prospect on a wonderful afternoon for Gaelic games. Charlie Redmond to hit this free. Looking for the equaliser. Going to the right of the goal. John McDermott's there. Flicks it outside, but only as far as the waiting Jason Sherlock. Back to Brian Steins. The kick is always going left and wide. The 8th wide for Dublin. 7 for Meath. It's getting really, really tense all around Croke Park. Virtually packed to capacity. Meath themselves, the All-Ireland champions, have only created, we make it, 2 scoring chances in this second half, and both of them have gone wide. Graham Geraghty here to pick it up inside his own half of the field. Colm Coyle. Now Jimmy McGuinness. This looks a bit more promising for Meath. Peter Ward was back there battling, but doing too much of the battling, falling down McGuinness. And I wonder, is this man already listening to what's happening down at Semple Stadium? You'll be able to find all about it very shortly. So the free will be taken by Trevor Giles. I'm sure that penalty miss will have damaged his confidence somewhat, but he's got to put it behind him at this stage. He's got to think positively. Meath are still in front. The hissing is coming from Hill 16. Towards which goal Trevor Giles is kicking. Will this be Meath's first point in the second half? In the 23rd minute, it's gone short. Taken by Paddy Christie. Released outside to Eamon Heary. Brian Steins next. Down towards Desi Farrell, but that's Enda McManus. It's a tenacious battle, as you expect always. And the referee, Brian White, very calm. Sean Boylan in there to bring something to the referee's attention, and Charlie is still having a little battle there with Darren Fay. And let's hope that they calm down quickly here.
Well, part of the problem here is that Brian White is letting things develop far too much. There's frees being given, and he should blow up the play very, very quick and give the free, because it's only leading to these sorts of incidents.
Just thinking back to the advantage there that where the penalty was concerned, of course Ollie Murphy had kicked the ball over the bar, hadn't he? And both names going in the book, but it didn't count. And Darren Fay also going in the book, so 2 players from each team being cautioned. And after all of that, it's going to be a free for Meath, and it's taken by Enda McManus to Mark O'Reilly, the student in Tralee RTC, towards Brendan Riley. Eamon Heary back there, playing his part at left half back. Trevor Giles was fouling, however. It's still 110 to 1-9, and I make it 11 minutes to go. Heary. Good ball ahead there by Paddy Christie. Desi Farrell takes it. Dublin looking to get on terms. Farrell's kick, the umpires watch and signal that it just goes about a metre or so to the left of the post. Well, they've had some chances.
Yes, Dublin really should be level. They're after having 6 bad wides there, all of them within scoring range. If they could get level, they'd probably feel to go on and win it.
Keep reminding yourself, the half-time score was 110 to 1-6, and here we are at this stage, and we've only had 3 points in the second half. Amazing, after the free-flowing first half. That's fisted down by the man in the middle there, Brian Steins. Here comes Nigel Nestor. Success this afternoon for Meath. Brendan Riley has it. They're looking for their first score. They may get it here, and a great save. second goal of the afternoon. And in the end, it's booted out there by the substitute, Paddy Moran. Jimmy McGuinness to his captain, John McDermott. On it goes here to Mark O'Reilly. O'Reilly trying to go through, really taking it at the Dublin backs. They've been disciplined, not giving away a silly free kick. Out it comes towards Heary again, spills from his grasp, however. And the referee says free down to Dublin. Well, that was a very important save by John O'Leary. Here it is again.
Well, that's John O'Leary. That's why he's probably the best goalkeeper that ever played. Gets down and makes a great block.
At the other end, it's Trevor Giles who's gifted that ball. Comes back to Keith Barr. Eamon Heary on the left boot into space. Nobody there except Colm Coyle. You'll remember the All-Ireland final for two reasons: the equaliser in the first game, and you know what happened early in the replay. Here he comes, Jody Devine. Dublin can't get in a challenge. It's a bit like 91 and that great goal, but this time it's Devine kicking. Oh, without Devine inspiration, he's put it wide. So Meath, incredibly, have not scored, and here we are, 27 minutes into the second half.
These last 7 or 8 minutes will be a real test of fitness. The game has been played at a frantic pace from the very beginning. I see a lot of lads now just hoping the ball will go to play, putting their hands on their hips and trying to get a breath. I'm not a bit surprised with the pace the game has been played at.
Of course, Dublin have used all three of their subs. Here's John McDermott, Trevor Giles. Meath with just one change so far. Here's Nigel Nestor, he's got 30 yards in front of him which to exploit if he wishes to do so. Brendan Riley got a point against Mayo, similar situation. He's done it again. That day was the winner. They're delighted. Brendan Riley's second point, and it has taken them 27 and a half minutes in this half to get their first score. 111 to 1-9 the situation. Can the All-Ireland champions now hang on? Heary for Desi Farrell, slips away there from Enda McManus. Farrell, good control, players peeling right and left of him in support. He's tripped, free to Dublin. And Charlie Redmond, you can be sure, will be the taker. The referee there having a word with Ollie Murphy, who came all the way back from corner forward. Meanwhile, down at the other end, there's an injury there to Brendan Riley. Well, that was a great kick, a real pressure kick. So 2 points between the teams, and Sean Boylan is in there to have a good look at Brendan Riley, who's played all over the field for him. You remember him playing wing back, corner back. He's been in the half forward line, I think everywhere bar goalkeeper.
Brendan Riley, of course, had a lot of shoulder trouble in the past. Received his injury there, typical of his bravery, diving in on a low ball with Paul Phelan and came out worse.
Now, before all that, you may remember that the referee penalised the Meath backs when in fact it was Ollie Murphy who was back playing as a back who was penalised. Dublin have this free kick. Charlie to hit it. 6 minutes to go. Dublin 2 points adrift. He scored 3 points so far out of 5 shots from frees. This to put a point between them. Charlie with 4 points in all. The Hill delighted, but they'd be even more pleased if Dublin could make up the leeway, which is now once again at the minimum, 111 to 110.
Anybody with a faint heart should switch off their televisions, I think, at this stage, because we're going to have some 5 minutes of football.
Pacemaker wearers, please. Off you go. Here's Peter Ward. Paul Curran towards Jason Sherlock, and it's booted out there by Donald Curtis. Right, Kenny man there. It'll be Dublin who'll have possession from the sideline. Looks like it's Desi Farrell is going across to swing this one in. Now, will he think about hitting one over the bar? Or will he try and punt it in towards Charlie Redmond? He's going for it, but it's going, I think, to the right. It's gone wide. Still some time to go. About 4.5 minutes. Quite a contrast this afternoon between the first half and the second. But for drama, it would be hard to equal this.
Dublin will never forgive themselves for all those wides if they lose this one.
They have possession through Keith Barr. And he had an easy pass outside for Paul Curran. Does he go for it himself? Trevor Giles back there, so too Colm Coyle. Really, they're having to fight hard for shots on goal, and in the end, Charlie puts it very, very wide indeed. A match which has had 2 goals, 6 or 7 goal chances, a missed penalty as well. Jim Gavin there and Kieran Walsh, 2 of the players who've made way. As Meath advance, John McDermott, back he goes again to Graham Geraghty. Divine is to his left-hand side. Still Graham Geraghty, and in the end, he fists it inside, but the referee says, hang on, you fouled the ball there, didn't you? Yes, he did, and Graham, I think, acknowledged that, and it's going to be a free out to Dublin. And we have some further news from Tony O'Donoghue.
PJ Gillick has been warming up for Meath, but just now Sean Boylan has called Paddy Reynolds from the bench and has asked the piece of paper to be gotten ready for Mark O'Reilly's name to be written on it. Paddy Reynolds for Mark O'Reilly, it seems, will be a switch very shortly. The Meath bench are also saying don't underestimate the breeze here. It's very strong down at ground level.
And it's favouring Dublin, but it's Meath with the chance, and John McDermott, the captain, has put it over the bar. A second point for John McDermott. Will that now kill off Dublin's chances in 97? There's still time remaining. 2 points the difference, 112 to 110. Brian Stein's picking up that ball from the kick-out. Robertson, Ward giving it back. Ian Robertson punting it up towards Jason Sherlock. Donald Curtis right alongside him. Not attempting to go by, going for the kick himself, Jason. Off the post, comes back down, and there are Meath defenders there in numbers, and Graham Geraghty back helping them out as well. It seems like Graham has been switched from the half-forward line back to the back line, just to help the calls and settle things down as Jimmy McGuinness kicks into space. That's Paddy Moran down there. Full back, of course, when they won the All-Ireland. PJ Gillick looking on there with Paddy Reynolds. Here's Paul Curran. For Ward once again, making an impact in this second half since his introduction. Curran. A difficult kick to make. Did well to get that one in. McGalvin in there, but the umpire concurring with the referee's view that the ball had gone out over the end line. And it's a kick out to Meath, and relief all over for some of these Meath fans. A minute to go, not including injury time. It could hardly be more tense. Sean Boylan's team leading by 2 points. Frank Foley there on his left-hand side, brother of Kevin, of course, who got that great goal in '91 in the 4th game against Dublin. That's going to be a free downfield for Meath. Is it disappointment for the Taoiseach, or is it joy for the man just behind him there, Mr. Bertie Ahern? Scoring chances in this match, Dublin with 28, Meath with 23. Dublin are trailing by 2 points. It's well gathered back there. Robertson to Christie, 2 of the new names of the championship for Dublin. Nice ball across there by Paddy Christie. Eamon Heary scampering after it, chased by Brendan Riley. All the Meath players bar Tommy Dowd back in their own half at this stage. McGuinness up under this one with Paul Beelan, who forces it in as far as Jason Sherlock. And you begin to feel that Dublin will have to go for a goal after to save this match. Here comes McGuinness in injury time for Brendan Riley. Jody Devine, Dublin chasing after him. Here's Paddy Christie, but here's Devine, stopped by John O'Leary. He might have put it over the bar, and Tommy Dowd probably will give him the chance. And he certainly does. 2 points in the game for Tommy Dowd. Delight over there among the Meath following. Feeling now that after a scare in the second half, they may have killed off the chances of Dublin advancing in this year's Bank of Ireland Football Championship. Eamon Heary knocking it in, his side trailing by 3 points. Here's the chance to Charlie, into Keith Barr. Keith going for it, back he comes again, and McGowan has kicked it, and the referee says, who got the touch loss? It's a penalty! It's a penalty for Dublin. There was confusion. Keith Barr was the one who was in there, and now Keith Barr has knocked Mark O'Reilly there. The referee has made up his mind that it's a penalty. Had he seen the retaliation, would he agree? This is what happened again.
Well, Keith Barr gives the ball out and Mick Galvin goes to shoot. The referee gives the penalty for a foot block. Meath players diving in there. He's decided that the player's foot was up. He's the man that counts, I suppose.
So who's going to take it this time? Charlie's had his problems with penalties in the past. Will it be Desi Farrell from Na Fianna? Referee still explaining about that foot block incident there, which is the reason for this penalty kick, which may save Dublin's bacon over 2 minutes into injury time. Mick Deegan is coming up, and it's going to be Mick Deegan who will take the penalty. Not included, or is it Mick Deegan? Charlie's there as well. Deegan was the one who placed it. Conor Martin waits. And this time it's Paul Beelan who's going up. 2 or 3 players have thought about it. Paul Beelan hasn't scored so far. That won't matter if this crashes the back of the net. And if it ties it up, 113 to 110. Dublin simply have to score here. Paul Beelan hits it off the post, it comes back down through, and it's all over, it's all over, and Meath are still the All-Ireland champions. Poor Paul Beelan, absolutely heartbroken. Colin Coyle is in there to commiserate with him, but it's the marvellous men from Meath, the Royal County, who advanced to the semi-finals in as dramatic a contest as you could hope to see. Drama from the beginning and drama right at the very end. Ollie Murphy, one of the goal scorers, and Paul Beelan has missed the penalty. It's been the story of Dublin's misfortune from time to time in major championship matches. He's not the first, he won't be the last. So, Meath have held on to advance for a meeting.
And Tipperary shook loose the Limerick monkey from their back, and not a bit of luck about it. Well,